Our next founder is Robert Morris, who was Chief Justice of New Jersey during the Revolutionary War. Now, when you hear the name Robert Morris, you usually think Robert Morris, the financier of the Revolution, who headed the Marine Department and Foreign Affairs for a while over in Philadelphia. This is a different person who has exactly the same name by chance. Now, we talked about him briefly earlier in the week when we looked at the Morris family tree. This Robert Morris is a cousin to a Declaration signer and a cousin to a Constitution author and a cousin to the Chief Justice of Revolutionary New York. Now, Robert Morris's father, Robert Hunter Morris, had been for 25 years Chief Justice of colonial New Jersey. But when the Revolutionary War breaks out, this Robert Morris is still a young man making his name in private practice. But once independence is declared, New Jersey, well, they need new people in all the positions. You have to be with the revolutionaries. Robert Morris seems to have kept his name a little bit out of things as a younger man trying to establish his business, but he was eventually asked and appointed to be clerk of county in New Jersey. The exact county escapes him, but he's appointed as a county clerk. Now, 6 months later, he's given another position. He is promoted from county clerk to Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of New Jersey. It is quite a move. Now, to be fair, he came from the Morris family, and his father had held this position in colonial New Jersey, as I said, for 25 years. So he was kind of expected always to have taken this position, even had the king stayed around. But since he's never comes out as a loyalist, never really comes out as a patriot, not at the beginning anyway, but never comes out as a loyalist, they say, well, let's just take him, and, how are you going to turn that job down, right? So he takes it, and he's only there for about 2 years. I found it notable that of the 2 years he's Chief Justice of New Jersey Supreme Court, he continues to be county clerk for a year and a half. So he doesn't neglect his county clerk duties when he's, Chief Justice. Granted, it was wartime. There wasn't a lot of Chief Justicing to do at the time. And he gets out before things settle down and you need to do some Chief Justicing. But he does hold that position, as I said, for 2 years. He goes back to private practice for a little bit, but then he is actually chosen by George Washington as a federal judge. He is federal judge for the United States District Court, District of New Jersey. And he spends 25 years in that position. Just like his father was Chief Justice of New Jersey for 25 years, he is a federal justice for the following 25 years till basically the end of his life when he ends up retiring. That's a brief overview of the Robert Morris who is Chief Justice of New Jersey, often overshadowed by all his cousins who signed things, and another person by a different name, by the same name, who signed a lot of things.